the company. It is October 1st.
Damn.
So we are in the fourth quarter of 2019. Yeah, sorry about that. Hope everybody had an amazing weekend. Starting off with an amazing week. If not, try again next weekend. It's coming.
What the fuck?
And if you're enjoying this nice fall weather,
Man.
for you, because we are not. We are in our second summer. It seems like fourth quarter summer. It's going to be
98 tomorrow.
98 tomorrow. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, that don't make no damn sense.
We are not having a white Christmas anytime soon.
You know, when you walk outside and you know it's fall, you walk outside in the morning, like I feel that fall air. I feel not 1 ounce of fall air. It feels like July in the morning.
Yeah.
The air is thick, it's sticky. You walk to the mailbox or the whatever you got to do in the morning, like get your trash can, and it's like, all right, I gotta take a shower. I'll take a whole bath.
Man, I got a brand new Steelers pullover that I want to wear. I just hadn't had the opportunity to sport yet, just because it's 80 degrees every day. So
yeah, I'm ready to put on some jeans, roll up my sleeves. Like I'm kind of tired of wearing shorts and t-shirts right now. I'm kind of over it right now.
Well, first world problems.
It is first world problems.
People would die to come outside and wear shorts.
Oh man, and flippy floppy.
We're suffering. The weather's so beautiful.
You be over it, man. Just like some people live like in Miami, it's like it's 80 something degrees all the time. They not to say they over it, but it's like whatever. They like to travel up north and shit like that every now and then.
Yeah. But then when it gets cold, those same people that are from up north that live down here gonna tell us we don't know anything about cold and we don't know.
Oh yeah, I work with somebody like that says that. I'm like, okay, like bro, I don't care. This is not like you hard because you live in the cold. And I'm like, Negro, I could walk outside in 105-degree weather and the air thick. You can't breathe. I can't. I'm used to this shit.
Oh, you're dying? I feel great.
Yeah. Remember, like when we went out west, it's like where the humidity, like the heat feels horrible, but you can breathe.
Yeah. There was no sweat, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like really sweat because the humidity wouldn't like kick your ass. I think our body was acclimated to it.
So I'm pretty sure our winter's coming. And when it does, I will just be as miserable as I am now.
Oh, yeah. For anybody that knows, Brian hates winter, like hates it. Despises it.
Not a fan. We had our little cold snap, I guess you can call it that, last week. And I woke up in the morning and yawned and my lips split in three papers. Winter.
I'm going to get you some Carmex, my G. Jesus Christ.
Is that the chapstick of choice? Because I think I said something. It smells like, get you some Carmex.
I don't do the little thing you carry. That's too big to put in your pocket. I just get the chapstick version of it. But it works better than chapstick. Like I feel like I have that little tube way longer than chapstick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got to just prepare for our winter. I don't do a lot of winter preparing type situations because it's not cold long enough.
It isn't. For anybody out there, if you're listening from anywhere else or you listen to this later, like I can tell you, none of us have winter coats. I went to New York and I had a hoodie. About died. I don't know if anybody knows. I have never seen a frozen body of water until I was in New York. Never seen that. I was in Central Park. No, I'm a body of water frozen. Where would I see that? I've never seen a river frozen, a lake frozen. I went to Central Park and I said, oh, wow, the lake's frozen. Here comes the wind. Whoop, we left. Like, seriously, no bullshit. We left. It was too cold.
We're not built for survival up north. We're not. I've been here all my life. And I've rarely traveled out of the South. So going anywhere up there is just not in the cards for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's that culture. Like if you grew up in the hip hop and all the New York movies and stuff, it's interesting. But that cold, a different level, bro.
Yeah, it's a beast in its own. So that's if that's what you like and if that's what you do, have at it.
Nah, I'm cool on that.
I won't knock you. but don't come down here knocking us because of our weather.
Yeah, we got hurricanes, man. We G's out here. Sorry.
Yeah. I think I heard somebody coming down here one time from up north that had never been down south, and like they saw a cotton field and started crying because it was like, I think they connected to it or something like that, or something. I don't know.
Negro, when we ride like 95, we see cotton fields. What are you talking about?
For miles.
Yeah. Tobacco, cotton, soybeans, anything.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing here. Today, they handed down the verdict for Amber Guyger. I don't know if of course, you guys are familiar with what was going on with that. She was a cop, right? The officer.
Yeah.
Went into Botham Jean's apartment. Mm-hmm. Said she did it by accident. He came around the corner. He was sitting down eating ice cream. He came around the corner trying to figure out who it was, and she shot him, killed him dead. The actual trial went for 7 days, I believe.
Yeah.
And then they handed down the verdict: guilty, 5 to 99 years of murder. The thing that scared me. The thing that scared me is, like, yesterday they were talking about they were going to allow her to use the castle defense.
Yeah, I did see you talk about it in our group chat. Can you explain that?
The castle defense is very similar to stand your ground.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, if you're in your home and you
but like, we're not cutting you up, but that's in your home.
That's the key word in this.
I caught that. I didn't get to read further, but I saw your explanation. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, that bitch better not.
I think we were ready to burn the city down.
Hell yeah.
If she get off on some shit that ain't got nothing to do with her situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So yeah, if you're in your home and you feel like you're in danger, then you can defend yourself. So like I said, it's very similar to the stand your ground law. That did not fly. So I think justice was served. You had any opinions on it?
I didn't get to see much. I just saw the headlines and people's reactions. I guess a lot of people were chalking it up to this is a win for Black people. I'm like, I feel you there, but I think it's a win for people in all. I hate to sound like all lives matter, but it'll make sense when I try to speak about it. But it's just like, even for the cops' perspective and white people perspective, people who deal with cop issues, we're already used to the cop getting the benefit of the doubt. Like that blue shield, what is it? The blue silent, what is it called? The blue shield of silence. What do they call it? Like when cops don't say anything and all that, and they get the benefit of the doubt. But pretty much it's like, that's what we were used to. We were just, if they were white, Black, whoever the victim was, I pretty much thought she was going to get off. But added in the sauce of it being a Black guy. Was he Haitian?
Yeah. Okay. I knew he was foreign because his mother was.
Yeah. So it's like, I did not by any means expected her to be guilty. Just the track record. Look at Eric Garner. Look at all this other stuff. Like the Eric Garner case. Like the dude, was it the Eric Garner case where he just got fired, or is that another case where he just got fired? The cop.
He got fired. The cop. Yeah. He just lost.
Yeah, Eric Garner case. Like he just got fired. Eric Garner's at least 3 to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like they had to, and honestly, I don't know if anybody's followed an election. Mayor de Blasio, who's running for president, I don't know if he bowed out yet, but they kept going at him like, why can't you fire him? Why can't you fire him? He kept saying, like, unfortunately, I don't have that right. It has to go through all the hoops and everything else to where they're going through that. He's like, yes, I wish I could just have that power to say you fired, because this makes no sense that I have to sit here and watch them go through all these hoops and go through all this paperwork for him to get fired. And they still can say he doesn't have to be fired. Like, that's where we at in America, where this person over here can be protected, but this man, life literally would have been like, he would have been a martyr at the end of the day. Like, he would have just been dead, would have been marching, and unfortunately it would have just passed because, once again, a cop just got away with it. Because I think it's more so the cop part got me more so than the race. And I know a lot of people might not believe that, but for me, it was the cop part that honestly thought she was going to get off. Because
I
that's me. I think the race played a part, but as me, I thought the cop part was going to get off.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know what would have happened if she did get off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would this have been a situation where everybody was like, "Oh, that's effed up," and then kind of just turned their back and went on about their business? Would there have been some sort of protest and maybe riot?
I think protests, riots. I don't know. Riots, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I think right now, man, there's just so much going on. There's so much going on. And as a people, I know we're very, very have a short attention span right now. And I don't know. I think there have been marches. I don't know about riots, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about riots. But I'm not from New York. It was New York, right?
I believe so.
So I'm not from New York. I don't know. But I just wouldn't have pictured riots. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy it happened. Go ahead.
No, I just feel like sometimes we're very angry when things happen, but we lack action. We lack the ability to take action sometimes.
Yes.
So we sit and we wave our fists about something, but then we just kind of fizzle out and go away, and I think that's what lets a lot of stuff get slipped by us.
Who is we, by the chance? Talking about Americans in general, black people, colored people,
black people, us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know some of that is warranted because we don't need to just go around, raising hell every time something happens and knocking shit over. But I do believe action is required in some cases.
Yes, absolutely. Every battle action should be taken, but every battle should not be fought. I know everybody go, "What you mean?" And I'm like, if you yell about everything, after a while, people kind of just drown out the yelling. If a baby just cries all the time, you kind of get used to that baby crying, or you don't pay attention to when it cries.
Mm-hmm.
If the baby goo goo gagas you think is cute, you'll pay attention to it. But when it cries, it's like, okay, what's really going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Sadly, with everybody trying to call everything a cause, that's pretty much where we are right now. Nobody pays attention to what's real.
Yeah.
And then you have the instances where the thing that we're fighting for ends up being a lie.
You mean like the dread thing in DC?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that made a lot of people angry. Like, it made me angry when I read it.
I remember that.
Time, I had my blood boiling. Somebody held this girl down and cut her hair. And everybody was screaming for action. Who are the kids? Where are they from? What's going to happen? Action, 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 action. And then it turns out it was a lie. I don't know why the girl lied.
We'll find out soon. That's just strange.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to say anything. I hope it wasn't like a domestic violence issue with her boyfriend or just something silly. But something happened to that young lady that made her do that.
Yeah.
So you got that makes offenses against black folks seem frivolous, and they're going to start asking if it really happened. And of course, you had Juicy Smollett with his situation. Sorry, Dave Chappelle made me say
it. Sorry. Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, but then you got that situation. It's like, it takes away the validation of some of the claims that homosexual people have been going through.
Yeah, because they have all the right to fight a lot of the battles that they do, but it's just it sucks, and I feel bad for them when it's like you got somebody on some bullshit, and it's kind of it diminishes like they're fighting their cause, and I'm like, this is why I get mad sometimes where people are like, well, matter of fact, I ain't really an example, but I saw this guy online. He's like a photographer. And he was saying like I was racially profiled and this and that and this and that. And I was just doing this. And I'm like, but you're in a 4 or 5 star hotel smoking weed and have music loud. Fam, you deserve the right for them to come in and search and be like, what the fuck are you doing up here? And I'm like, I read it and I'm like, you have no reason to be outraged and posting all this stuff and saying they should get this person. Like, no, you can't be doing that. It doesn't matter if weed is legal. It doesn't matter if you're in the the penthouse, fam, other people in there, nobody want to smell your weed. Like, fam, you can't do that. But he tried to make it the biggest thing because he had a bunch of followers. No, sir. Sit your ass down.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you had the lady who got into it with the guys at the nail salon. You know, that was a big thing. She got kicked out of the nail salon, had everybody wanting to boycott and close the salon, but then she started going back to the same nail salon to get her nails done.
Yeah.
You know, so she just nixed everything that we were fighting for at that point. You know, if she's not going to fight for the thing that happened to her, why should anybody else?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, it's kind of hard being consistent and fighting for rights, and, you know, it just makes everything harder.
It does. It does. It really does. We aren't, I always say we're in weird times, but I even look back and go, shit, think about it when you lived in the 60s, like talk to your parents or whoever, or your grandparents, and think about like all the things that were radically changing, all the assassinations, a full-fledged war over in Asia, a country people didn't even know what the fuck was until then. I think we're in less weird times. I think we're in a transitionary period versus weird times right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, with this transition, it's a lot of social issues that are banging against each other, to where, you know, LGBTQ, you know, race is rumbling up again because the Obama thing, we can be real, that rumbling happened when people's like, oh shit, black people are getting power. Like, it bothers them. Like, it purely bothers them because it's a class thing, but it's a race thing. And the class thing is bubbling up too. It's funny how Martin Luther King was about to get on both of those, and you saw what happened to him. And that was literally like right at 51 years ago that he was starting to do that. It's funny that it's starting to finally play out right now, to where people have finally woken up and understand, like, oh shit, it's not so much about us race, like, you know, us racists. It is to a sense, but it's more so about class. And as we see it play out in politics, they try to make sure you don't go outside of your class.
Listen, there's an unseen force that is directly responsible for keeping black folk exactly where they are. It's like, no matter where we are, if we get close to that glass ceiling, too close, they've been doing this long enough for us to not even see them breaking us down. And we'll just think that is pop culture or a celebrity saying something. But they if we get too close to this glass ceiling, they activate whatever they have to do to tear us right back down where we were.
It's right to when, oh shit, I forgot the lady who ran for governor in Georgia. When they found out the governor there was doing all the underhanded shit and the voter laws and all that shit just to keep a certain amount of people from voting. It's like, this is what they're doing, guys. So when I see people, and I'll call the name out that I see in a lot of interviews, and he does a lot of good things, but it bothers me. He doesn't see the point to vote. It's Nick Cannon. He says he doesn't see the point to vote, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people break it down as like, fam, I get it. You might be frustrated, but the thing is, everything you deal with deals with politics. And like, just because you don't vote, it does a lot of things deal with politics. Like, start at the state level or local level. Like, that's where things start, where it literally generally affects your everyday life. Like, that's where it starts. If you start a business, all that ties into politics, man. And the thing is,
I've already seen people call Nick a sleeper. Like, he's probably one of the guys that they put in place to keep us right where we're supposed to be. And
so we're on the same page there.
Yeah. They position him perfectly. They got him dressed up looking like he's just the most educated black man. He has all these jobs, and they're giving him all these opportunities. Who else you going to listen to besides somebody who looked like they made it?
See,
Nick Cannon said
go ahead.
Yeah, Nick Cannon said it's no point in voting, so I'm just not.
That bothers me. Yeah. And I can fall back on like my grandparents, this and that. I'm like, nah, it ain't even just about that. It's sorry, because I thought my phone was on silent. But like, it's way more than just the national level. It's way more than me just getting the right for my taxes, me getting the right to do this and do that, or healthcare. It's way more things, man. It affects your infrastructure, where they build hospitals near you, infrastructure where we do the bond referendums to have better schools in your area. if you don't vote the right people in office or exercise your right, the schools could be shitty around you. Your infrastructure, aka your drainage, your plumbing, all that shit, your access to electricity will suck. Where they'll tax the fuck out of you. All that shit matters. So like when he says that, I'm like, you're too smart of a dude to tell me I don't see the point in voting. That it always bothers me when he said it rings in my ear. I'm like, you said all this educated shit. That sounds great, but why are you dropping that seed in there? That always bothered me.
Yeah. And like I said, because
it doesn't match up with what he said before.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he's been told to do. Mm-hmm. Get them listening. Let them see what we've done for you, and then tell them don't vote.
Yeah,
and they'll listen.
Yep.
Most of the people that need to vote are, I ain't gonna say are puppets, but there are a lot of puppets out there that just listen to, whatever celebrity is selling. Like they got Kanye doing this religious stuff now. I'm not touching that.
It's crazy how big of a Kanye fan it is. Like he is falling totally out of my graces. Like from 100%. Well, I can't say 100. I'm not rocking with nobody that hard, but let's say 90% to nothing now. Like I look at him and I'm like, you serve me no purpose. That's how I feel about him. You serve me no purpose. Like there's nothing that you give me that gives anything to my day. Like I can't even listen to your music. Like I literally listen to your music and go, I'm past. Like it's sad to say, like he drops in the R. Kelly phase for me. Like I'm just over it.
Yeah,
I'm over.
Like I said, now they got him doing this religion stuff.
I knew it was gonna be one of those moves like that to get in the good graces. And I'm like, I ain't that simple, fam.
I don't even think it's to get in the good graces. I think he knows he's part of this machine. And he's catching that part of the community who will follow religion off of a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to get them right where he wants them and says whatever he has to say, and it's going to make them sheep too. So, I mean, with that, you really got to be aware of who you let have any kind of influence over your spirit.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's just super dangerous right there. And I'm like, I can't follow this man, especially on a religious tip when he's part of this family of people who I know just destroy black men since they've been famous.
Yeah. And for anybody listening, now we ain't telling you what to do, who to follow and not to follow, but we just want you to be aware. I hate the word woke, but just be aware of what podcasts you listen to, what books you listen to in your ebooks, what things you might watch on YouTube, because everything ain't the gospel. Because I see a lot of people screen cap and put stuff on their Snap and their Instagram, and I'm like, that's some good words, but you don't have to take every little bit and take it as your own gospel, because you can take little pieces from everybody. That's what I say. You take little pieces and tidbits you catch from little jewels. Don't take everybody for everything they say is perfect, because you will be led the fuck astray. So
yes, and left out there.
And left, yes, sir.
Because what's going to happen is you're going to follow these people out into the desert, and then something's going to happen to them. They're going to go to jail or get in trouble for something else, and you're just going to be sitting there with nobody to follow.
Yeah, that motherfucker rich. He ain't got nobody to follow. He good.
Say what?
I'm just saying, these people, like I say, that motherfucker. These people are rich and ain't got no worries.
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the person we need to follow. Like, there's a lot of people out there who make a lot of sense that may not be uber rich or have a lot of influence, but the thing is, they can provide a tidbit that can do something to change your perspective, or to go about things in a better light. Let's say that.
Yeah. Well, just be careful with that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to the Church of Kanye.
Hell no.
My personal.
I don't care if the shit jamming like a mug and my feet tapping. I'm cool.
You just talked about church and said shit in the same sentence, but that's cool. That's cool. That's what you do. I'm sorry. You said,
that's funny.
Yeah. All right. So, speaking of Judgment Day is coming for 45. I don't think this man's going to be impeached. All signs are saying yes. I don't think it's going to happen.
Let me ask you this, because everybody knows the story, so we really don't have to preface. Do you think it's good to do so, yes or no, to even try to impeach? I have an interesting opinion. Most people go, no, it ain't worth it. I have an interesting opinion.
I think it needs to happen so we can avoid this shit to happen in the future. We need to let these people know that they can bleed. You know, some people are like, oh, God can bleed. You need to let these guys in power know that they can be taken down. Now, this man's entire cabinet is almost locked up in jail. And you got people that think that he's just still just a man of gold.
That bothers me so much. Okay, we're on the same page. Because a lot of people's like, I was watching a podcast when I was fixing something to eat when I got out of the shower. And I'm like, they were just like, I don't see the point. Like, why don't we just vote them out? And I'm like, how about you got two options? How about you use both? Why are we going to fall back on that one? You saw what the fuck happened before? Like, y'all still voted for him and he offered nothing but dreams. And it's like, oh, I just don't like her because Hillary bothers me. Like, really? Like, really? Like, I get it, but it's like, who would I hand the keys to go chauffeur the car? The damn toddler or the teenager? It's like, I think I'm gonna hand it to the teenager. I know it's like I don't trust the teenager to take my Maserati around the block very much, but I'm not gonna hand it to the toddler.
And to be honest with you, if Hillary started fucking up, it would be way easier to get her out of office than it is for us to get this guy out.
Thank you. And I know you'll see it. Have you seen the way they're trying to call out the whistleblower for literally just stating what they have proven to be what actually happened on the tape?
Yeah.
How can you call out the whistleblower?
I don't know. He wanted to have a sit down with the whistleblower.
It's like wave my hands over here. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. That's what they're doing. Like your boy Lindsay doing it on Face the Nation. Mitch McConnell, his owl looking ass is doing the same thing. Matter of fact, he looks like the owl of fucking Tootsie Roll commercials. That's what I've been trying to figure out all my life.
1, 2.
That's what he looks like. Yes, that's what they're doing. And it's like the people who keep falling for it. And I'm not around a lot of people who do. But like it boggles my mind that you already tying it back to what we talked about before. You take like let's say Fox News or whatever, you take that shit as gospel, and it's like I'm gonna rock with that viewpoint, and that's it. Anything he do is fine. They're just trying to go after him. But all these people have been like literally charged with felonies around him.
It's just witch
everybody.
Are you
like
just
thank you. My thing is we hang together enough where if 5 of us were charged with felony and let's say the 6th person wasn't, 9 times out of 10 that 6th person guilty of some shit.
You need to go too.
You knew something to where they came and asked you didn't know nothing. Nope, that's perjury. You didn't say nothing. You guilty of something.
So they're trying to distract and deflect and all this other stuff is happening. But you got to understand. I mean, you got to, like you said, when something happens and they doing like this and waving over here, so you look, just give it 5 seconds. Don't look at them hands for 5 seconds. Just wait and keep looking at what you were looking at before, and you will see what they're trying to cover up. And it once you understand how the system works, or once you understand how this whole thing moves, how the snake moves, you'll understand or you'll feel what everybody else is feeling. You'll see what everybody else is saying. But I don't think some people want to know the truth.
Yeah.
I don't think some people want to know they're wrong. I think that side is very arrogant and they don't want to know that they're wrong.
But my thing is, what do you lose by knowing you're wrong? Like, what do you lose? Nobody's gonna roll and be like, "Ha ha, bitch, you're wrong. Ha ha ha, I'm taking your house." Nobody's taking anything from you.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
It's not.
And
like
I heard that on the news about they want to take your guns and they want to blah 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 blah.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. They're not.
Yeah.
That's been like that ongoing thing that they put out for Obama, and I've seen where the source came from. Like that never happened. The closest you can go to is Beto saying the thing is, and I knew where Beto was coming from. He's from El Paso. That's his area that he was over when he was in Congress down there. Like the dude's pissed and sick that the shit happened in his backyard and there's nowhere near a piece of legislation on it. Now, is that the right way to go about it? Maybe yes, maybe no. But at the end of the day, I knew where it came from. Like, I can have enough sense, even if I was for guns or not for guns, I have a sense of where it came from, and I don't demonize that guy for what he said. A lot of people don't live in that realm. They live on this side, they live on that side. everything in the middle, fuck that.
Yeah.
Boggles my mind.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a weird thing. And a lot of this is just selective outrage. Selective outrage. I mean, oh, you want to take my guns, but they're taking a lot of other stuff from other people you're not fighting for.
Boom. A gun is literally, they go a tool. And I'm like, yeah, don't. I get that tool word, but y'all move it around so much. A hoe is a tool, a rake is a tool. Like, I get it, but that's not the tool he's saying. I hate when people manipulate that term. So
yeah.
Like, it's meant to kill. It ain't meant to just hold people back. Those guns are meant to fucking kill. You don't shoot a AR-15 in the air that tells somebody, hey, stay away from here. Why is it shooting all that bullets? That's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't understand the mentality. I try to, and the more you try to dig into the thought process of these people, the more lost you get.
Yeah,
lose yourself. It's kind of like going undercover and just staying too long.
That's funny you say that. I listened to was on Breakfast Club yesterday. Forrest Whitaker, and he was just talking about how certain roles you kind of live in at the moment, even at home a little bit, dealing with your kids, and just kind of work through it. And he's like, your kids look at you like you're fucking crazy, but some roles you don't. And he was talking about The Last King of Scotland, where he played Idi Amin. He said he pretty much lived that for the time that he filmed it, and it paid off. That's where he won a damn Oscar. Like, he killed it. But honestly, like, people get lost and they start to follow this and follow that. And I think they're just knee deep in fucking conspiracies, and that's just where they live. I think you're right.
Yeah. He killed that role, by the way. That was an amazing movie.
I still never seen it. I've just seen clips, but from what I saw, and I'm like, that nigga got me scared.
That movie was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's one of those situations where, like, somebody plays a role so well, when you see the real person, you're still like, hey, that's not him, because you're focusing on the actor playing him.
Correct. That what kind of kills me when they always throw, not really all over the place, but they'll throw an actor in a role just for the name. Like, I don't gravitate towards that shit at all. Like, oh, we got such and such in the movie, they're gonna just to get eyeballs on the screen. I'm like, no, I'd rather it just be a good actor. Tom Holland became Spider-Man, and we know where the fuck he came from, and guess what? He nailed in it. Like, look at shit like that.
I watched a speech, not even a speech. It was Malcolm X was on it looked like closed circuit TV or something.
I think I probably seen that interview because it scared me that Denzel sounded just like that motherfucker.
Yeah. He was talking. I was like, damn, Denzel nailed this.
Yeah. Sorry to throw you off, but I know exactly what clip you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, because he had the other black guy with him on stage. But it was the host was a white guy. Yeah, and I was watching. I was like, damn, they picked the right person for this role. Like, I don't think anybody else could have nailed that.
Oh, so you were talking about Denzel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah,
exactly.
I saw a documentary when I was in college, and it blew my mind. It gave me a new perspective to where I went online. I'm like, who won the Oscar that year? And I'm like, nobody even fucking watches that movie anymore. That won. I can't remember. I'm like, nobody watches that.
Flowers for Algernon or some shit.
Yeah, like, cut it out. Like, Denzel became Denzel off that movie, even though he was in Glory and all that, but that like knocked him into another stratosphere.
Because he nailed it. And I think that was one of the things where he just went there mentally for so long. He probably, some of that probably stuck with him.
Yeah.
Which is why he started picking his own roles. I think Glory was the last time you saw him in that kind of role.
Oh, yeah, he was a supporting actor in that, right? Yeah, he wasn't even a lead yet. Right after Glory, he was a lead the rest of his life. It wasn't close. He was in some weird, like, I say low, well, they were lower budget. Like, I remember like Mississippi Masala, where he married, like, he was in love with a Indian girl. Like, I remember that movie. It's from like early 90s. It's like, damn, they really were trying to put him in anything once after Glory came out.
But probably still killed the role though.
Yeah, he did pretty well. I remember it. I remember catching it like late night on Fox or something like that in the mid 90s.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how we got here.
Yeah, it's funny. Oh, we were just talking about like people being I was talking about like conspiracy theories kind of get lost in the sauce is a better way to say it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just where they live. They live to where this is it. They're trying to get them. It's a witch hunt. And it's like, yeah, you're falling into the keywords he tweets out. Presidential harassment.
Oh my God. It is exhausting trying to follow it and then approach it as an adult.
Because you shouldn't. And
It's like some of the things that happen, you actually have to dumb yourself down to try, just to make an attempt to identify with the people that are still following this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I can't come to this as an older person with experiences in life and take anything that he says seriously. Because it sounds like bullshit.
It's like each and every day. I don't know how anybody, and I hate to go just on the right, anybody on the right is okay with him being a president. Like, you got on Obama saying this, and that, and I'm like, that's the one thing. That's when I knew you were lost and you didn't see him as a man. I'm like, nothing he did not tell me he wasn't a president. You can say good, bad, whatever, but like, he's a president. He didn't like diminish the position of office like meant to the country or to the world. Like, there's nothing to where if he was out, he got respect. You rarely had the people run up on him and protest to him, even though like they would say they shit online. Like, he was a damn president. And it's like, why we have to live up to him just acting like a president? Like, he has not done it one day in his life. No one day that he's been enrolled. Like, he acts like a petulant child, which I always hear, and that's the perfect term. And it's like, honestly, I just don't even understand how he's able to tweet. Like, the stuff he says he should be suspended. Like, he shouldn't be able to do it. But I don't know. I just don't understand how he's able to put that out there. Because a lot of stuff is propaganda that he retweets, puts out there, shit that doesn't make any sense. And like, he's harassing people as well.
The day that they announced that they were going through with the impeachment process, he tweeted 90 times in like an hour.
That's when I know his ass was shook. I said, oh yeah, he's feeling it. It's realer than what we thought it was going to be.
Legion found it.
Real quick, because I really don't want to talk about him much anymore.
Okay.
Do you think, remember when Pelosi, they were just getting on her saying she wouldn't force the impeachment proceedings and all that? Do you think she knew this was coming and they were just waiting on it?
Yeah.
Because it was weird. Because it's funny how quick it happened.
They're waiting on it. They had this paper signed and everything.
But it's like, of course, everybody wasn't privy to it. That's how I'm feeling how it was playing out.
Yeah.
Because, of course, she's an elder statesman, period. Not even just say on her side, like literally in Washington. Like, she knew. I think it's one of those shit. If we do a movie later and we find out all the unclassified shit, it's going to be like in January, she heard about it. And when motherfuckers was telling, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. When all the new Congress came, it's like, nah, hold on. We got something better for you.
Yeah, I bet if you could see the initial papers that you have to turn in for the procedure,
yeah,
the date like a year ago on there, and they scratched it out. Today's date.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling like they're gonna go back to like in January where all those Congress people got sworn in when the left took the House. It's gonna be like, hey, we got to get them out of here. All the new people. I'm like, we got this. Hold on, I promise you, we got you.
Give me 2 seconds.
For real. Because they were trying to kill her at the beginning of the year for not doing anything.
And she was quiet about it. She was like, oh, okay. Kill me. And right when it was time, she went over to the room and said, hey, you saw them? You remember them papers I gave you?
She did it nice and swift. Was on TV in a fast hurry. Saying what she needed to say. Like, oh, it's going down now.
She had time to practice that speech. I'm ready for this. I'm my good suit for this shit.
My good pantsuit.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get off politics. The rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So you want to do Eddie?
Yeah, we can do Eddie first, and then we can talk about the other thing last.
Yeah.
Since I guess we were in the serious subjects.
Yeah, this will be kind of serious. Now, Eddie has his new stand-up coming out. Got a movie and a stand-up coming out, of course.
Dolomite comes out the 26th, I think I saw.
I think so, yeah.
On Netflix. Yeah.
And he also has the stand-up that's coming out on Netflix. All of a sudden, everybody has a problem with Raw and Delirious. So these are coming back and, oh, you can't put Eddie up here because he did Raw and Delirious. Guarantee you.
Yeah, buddy.
Everybody that's complaining about it has watched Raw and Delirious 82 times.
Bruh. I actually watched them this weekend randomly on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Even though I can stream it and I pay for those services, but it's amazing. I mean, it's a different time, bro. Like, if I'll put this in perspective right now. Did your parents growing up watch Westerns where you were at home?
Yes.
When you watch those Westerns, who portrayed the Native Americans and the Mexicans and the Asian people?
White folk.
What's the difference? Not say what's the difference, but like that wasn't very of a cool thing to do. That's racist as shit. He just said some words. They full-fledged had these motherfuckers in low key. Well, can't say blackface. Let's say brown face. You know, had the buck teeth. You know, had all that like. But they still play this shit on TV. Why are we going to Eddie Murphy for words like he said the F word, he said this, he said that? You know, slow people. Okay, got it. It was a different time.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I don't know. I think it's a situation where they opened up a box that you can't close at this point.
What you mean?
It's like they've been reaching through so many people's past and destroying their careers off things that they've done in the past.
Like Dave Chappelle
it would
said.
almost be hypocritical for them to let Eddie go, even though he has these two specials that he's done 30 years ago.
But the thing, go ahead.
So they really have to do what they're doing. They have to protest him. They have to complain about his comedies, even though they probably don't want to. They have to, because if they don't, it makes what they said about all the other people that they took down from things that they did to the past null and void.
I'm not bothered by the think pieces that say, would it fly today? That's a valid question. But I just don't understand why people are like, I don't want to listen to them. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, now, like you just found out about it. It's just because we went to this time where it's socially unacceptable to do those things. Okay, got it. I'm like, well, if you're one of those people that doesn't like the N-word, I'm like, I watched Sanford and Son. I've watched Good Times. I've watched Jeffersons. I've watched pieces of All in the Family when they had black people on there. All four of those shows said the N-word a lot on their shows in primetime TV. So, like, I hate to be that guy, but like we're picking and choosing a lot of things that we hold up as these great things, and black people did great things. It's like we're just tearing it down just because like of those things. It was a different time, man. It was a different time.
And we're not giving. I mean, we're not really saying that it was okay to knock these people. It's just like these were the stand-ups he did, and he even said it.
Listen to the laughs when he said that shit. People erupted. Yeah. That's when I know it was a different time. Like, your ass would have been laughing too. Back then. That's where they were.
He was an 18, 19-year-old kid doing these jokes. He was at a time where he was just trying to do whatever he could to stay relevant. So I mean, it was just that was his climb. And he's coming off comedians. Like when he got famous, he still had comedians to go back and ask for advice, like Red Fox and Bill Cosby,
Richard Pryor,
people. So those were the same kind of.
Bill Cosby was a dick to him. Everybody else a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
If you remember him in the stand-up,
yeah. But yeah, so he's riding off the coattails of these guys. So he's telling the same kind of jokes that these guys will tell.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're going to, say all this shit about Eddie and get his stuff taken off Netflix or whatever, are you going to get, Richard Pryor's entire catalog taken off retail? Are you going to do that? Red Fox? Are you going to ask them to take Sanford and Son off TV? I mean, after a while, you just kind of going to delete.
We're left with fucking Friends.
Friends and Seinfeld.
I'd take Seinfeld over Friends. Friends is a horrible show.
Oh no, they're gonna have to take Seinfeld off because Kramer said nigga 82 times.
See, yeah, Friends is a horrible show. I'm sorry. Yeah. Speaking, not to be off topic. Damn it, I hate being off topic. Well, not really don't, but this is funny. You ever heard of Marcus Gladwell? It's a black guy, but he's really light skinned. Evidently, he wrote to where you don't know he's black. That's just the preface if you ever see it. He wrote a book. Don't remember the name of it, but it talks about like body language and the way we interact with friends and things like that. To where trusting and how you would view people, how you would view their body language. He was saying the show Friends, if he said you watch it on mute, you would automatically know what's going on because it's that dumbed down. Because he said when you go through the characters, like when she's sad, when they're confused, when they're perplexed, when they're interested, they always do the exact same things. There's no complexity to it. And Jimmy Kimmel was like, "Oh shit!" It's like it literally is like that. Pretty much, kind of. It's such a vanilla show. When I've watched it, I'm like, I don't get why this is entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, to watch one episode, go about your business, do whatever you got to do in the day, and come back the next day and watch another episode, you don't notice it. But if you sit there and you watch back-to-back episodes, you could almost take the first one and lay it over the
That's pretty much what he was saying. He said, you're watching on mute, you know exactly what was going on based on the way they react. That's not knocking the actors or what he said. It's just based on how they made that show.
Yeah, it was easy writing.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't know, NBC jacked Living Single's idea with that. They just made it light. That's not even trying to be funny. It's dead ass.
Yeah, I mean, same characters.
Same character.
Wow, is it?
Well, not same characters, but the same concepts and
theory. Yeah, same concepts. So
Living Single came out in 92, Friends came out in 94 or 95, one of those. They swagger jacked it. Jacked it.
So I mean, I tried to watch a few episodes. It was like, oh, this same shit.
I randomly, when I used to have a short break in like junior year of college, I can always remember I come home and watch different things. I used to watch Friends, and it was on just because I did not want to watch stories. And BET was playing the same videos from like the day before, so I didn't turn there. And I was tired of watching ESPN the same highlights, so I turned to that, and I'm like, this show sucks, but it's noise in the background. While I fix my lunch.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, like we were talking about with Eddie Murphy. I mean, that's just I think people are just nitpicking. And to be honest with you, I know this is probably going to piss people off. I don't even think it's him using the N-word that's making people mad. You know, I don't think it's him picking on white folk that's making people mad.
Oh, I already know what it is.
Yeah, and
I said the F word. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, Chappelle talked about it in his show. That's what people are pissed off at.
I'm not gonna lie. When you watch it, it's like, ooh. But I'm gonna flip it back. The first time I watched it, like probably not 20 years ago, probably in late high school, early college. Still at that point, I didn't think nothing of it, just because that word was part of lexicon still.
Yeah,
I didn't view it as like a demeaning term. Like I would never say that to anybody gay or call anybody that, but it wasn't as bad as you would say now. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm one of those people like I don't say that word, and people say I'm like, yo, fam, chill out. Like I don't think that's the right thing to say.
Yeah. I think I saw both of the stand-ups way too early in life. But I mean, it was just funny. It was comedy to me because we used to sit down and listen to all the other records as well. And it was just what was said.
High key, go back to Kings of Comedy when Bernie Mac was talking about the little boy getting the milk and cookies. He called him the F word. I don't think you remember that. Little faggot. That's what he said.
Yeah. And if Bernie was around today,
99.
And if Bernie was around today and he tried to do a project, they would bring that up.
Yeah.
And he'd be destroyed.
I remember watching that. I ain't think nothing of it. Like I said, late high school, I ain't think nothing of it. I thought that shit was funny as hell. Because you could just picture somebody, let's say your family, somebody you know, it's like, I remember, I could picture that shit. I could picture that shit. I didn't it didn't demean him. I could just picture it. That's all he painted a picture for me.
It's just got to be hard being either a comedian or a comedy writer. I mean, even the guy that did the Joker movie, he said he stepped away from doing comedies because it was just too hard to not offend people.
Well, hell, did they get on him because they said, "Oh, Joker killed like 300 people," and somebody wrote the piece like, "Well, John Wick killed probably just as many. Y'all still love that shit." The fuck? I was like, damn, y'all are so annoying, sensitive asses.
Life right now is just walking on eggshells.
Bruh, that's a very, very good description of it.
It is. And, like a lot of people use that the wrong way. Oh, we can't say nothing anymore. People get offended by anything you call them. I'm not saying you should go around calling people a nigga. All I'm saying is there are things that people are getting offended by that they should not be offended by. Yes. Or either just they should not watch things that might offend them.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like the TV show because it's a certain way, don't watch it.
Thank you.
You know, it's easy. Turn the channel, turn TV off, turn the radio off. Stop listening to music.
Thank you. You make a great point there.
But I'm not on the same boat as the people who there's a lot of people on the right that are upset because they can't call people nigga no more. And I know that's all it is. Because anytime something happens and somebody gets in a fight because somebody called them a racial slur, you'll hear them say, oh, these are just people being sensitive. You can't say nothing no more. That's not why they're mad. So, you know, there are two different sides to that argument.
Fuck them. Fuck them all. Shit.
But yeah, that's how. There ain't nothing more I got to say about that. I'm gonna watch Eddie Murphy show, and I hope it's good. I mean, even though he said that what he said in the past shocked him, and he feels bad about the things he said, I kind of feel like he's.
But he was like 19, 20 years old, like fam.
Yeah.
Flashback, 19, 20 years old, Negro.
I don't think we're gonna get that Eddie. I think that's gone. That Eddie's gone.
But you got to think about it. He got growth. He got a ton of kids. He done been divorced. He done made shit ton of money. He didn't lose the money. Like he has a different life. Like he was a rocket that's still going. Like it's creepy. Most people have crashed and descended and then have the rebuilding in. Like he never. I mean, he fell off maybe in the art, but at the same time, it's like he's still getting the same check for those movies. That check ain't diminished yet. You know what I'm saying? He ain't having a Nicolas Cage type career, you know. He just making movies to pay his ex-wife.
Nick is a nut.
Yeah, he scares me.
But anyway, you had a subject up here that I want you to explain. Let me look at it here. It says, is the term producer the same as it was in the 70s and 90s, 70s through 90s music?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while. I'll explain what the question means, and I'll explain what made me think of it. So I was just thinking about how I would say pop/hip hop is now. So for anybody that doesn't know how most beats or songs are out, for hip hop, most times, it might be this way. A lot of times it's the beat, the producer, quote unquote producer, makes the beat, they'll shop the beat, people rap on it. Some even do skeletons where they may have the hook ready, the beat. You may even have somebody like a Jeremiah singing on as the hook. You know who Hitmaker is? You heard of the producer Hitmaker?
Yeah.
You know who that is, right? Young Berg. That's his name now as the producer. Okay. So the reason you hear Jeremiah on a lot of songs is because him and Jeremiah are tight. So when he makes a lot of beats, a lot of times Jeremiah helps with the hook piece. So Jeremiah's in all these songs because Hitmaker, quote unquote, makes these songs. So it's like, but the thing is, it's almost like a plug and play factor now versus back then. You're like your Quincy Jones, you go like your Teddy Riley's, you go like your Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, where they're in the studio spending time telling the person this is how it should go. You're off key, blah blah blah. That realm is gone. Like it's literally like we send this beat to you, you get it back, you do this, you do that, they master it, that's done. There's no interaction. And I think that's why a lot of these songs and albums are kind of like fly by night type things. And I'm like, has it changed to you? And the reason I brought it up because I watched this Red Bull Music Academy interview with Teddy Riley, and it blew my mind, like all the tidbits and smart little things. Like he learned from Michael Jackson making a Dangerous album. He learned from what's his name? Dougie Fresh. Like he produced the show. People forget that. Like all the things like he picked up from people, and it's like he interacted with the people. He was in the studio with the people. You know, he taught them things that furthered their career. I'm like, where the fuck is that now? Like all these songs, like I can go, like you can have your point, and I can go through all these songs he made. I'm like, look at these timeless ass songs that we might know word for word. And as soon as like a half second of beat pops in, you know what the fuck it is. But I think a lot of these songs now, it's like, I don't know what trap beat that is. I don't know who produced that because they all sound the same.
All sound the same. It's
yeah.
there's an aspect of music that's gone, man. It's just there's no love anymore. Like you said, everything's just plug and play. You got the same guy doing everybody's beats because you just want to hear his name screamed over the beat. And if that's not it, and it's just they're just cranking out music. You know, after a while, if you got a factory and you're, you know, creating something like a food item or something like that, you know, at first everything's all love, but once you got to mass produce everything's just bland and the same.
Correct.
And it's happening with music. It's happened with music. So there has to be a revolution at some point when everybody wants their music back. Because I don't know who's controlling it, but it ain't us.
It's not. It's just like I find some albums that I like, but it's few and far. Well, I can't say that, but let's say like newer artists, it's few and far in between. I feel like I keep falling to the same ones. R&B is actually way better than you think. It's just R&B isn't mainstream now because rap just took over. So I'll leave R&B out of it. But when it comes to like hip hop / rap, it's rough because I think a lot of people who rap very well, I don't think they pick beats very well. And I think that's part of the whole experience of the song. So it's like, yeah, you might be a rapping ass rapper, but if the beat doesn't hit with me, I'm like, you kind of lost me, fam.
There are a lot of artists that have put out songs and the lyrics were amazing, but there's a something that happens with. Never mind.
You scared the shit out of me.
My damn floor shook just now.
Okay.
Probably my neighbor closing the door.
All right.
But there's something that happens if the beat doesn't connect with me, then the song is lame.
Correct.
You know,
but I think that's where it comes into where the producer is there, like they're the orchestrator. Like Quincy Jones, like shit. His documentary, I'm like, dog, this dude is like freaking Forrest Gump of fucking music. Like he's been through everything. Like he was like a trumpet player back in the day for like Ray Charles. Like he met Ray Charles and did all of that. It's like, you know, he made all these dang songs like you didn't even know. Like it just makes no sense. He did a lot of albums. He did a lot of TV show things. You know, can't even talk about Michael Jackson and all the other stuff he did. It's just insane. And like the Teddy Riley thing just blew me away. Like the little things he was talking about just was crazy. And he was just like, just got paid by Johnny Kemp, was supposed to be on fucking Keith Sweat album, but Keith Sweat had already submitted it. He's like, fuck it, I'll give it to Johnny Kemp. Yeah. And it's like, shit, that gave him money for a long time until he passed. It's like, because they were all in like little groups around in Harlem. Is how it worked. And like, and it's like, I forgot, like, he did a lot of Heavy D beats back in the day, like all his hits. Like he did soundtracks. Like it's just insane. It's like, it's through the fact that he literally, you know, he might make the beat, but when he's in the studio, he's like, this is how it should sound. This is the idea in my head. And he worked back and forth. And I'm like, that's why they're hits. That's why they're fucking timeless. That's why we know the songs to this day.
He took everything to the studio with the artist. Right now you got the beat makers that just give you something and then go about their business and don't even pay attention to see what you're doing with it.
I can't be mad at them and making the money, but at the end of the day, I think shit suffers.
Like you have to tell people what you want them to do with your creation, and you have that right. You know, just because they pay for it, well, once they pay for it, it's theirs. But you can give them direction, like, "Hey, I made this beat. In my head, this is what's going on with this beat."
Correct.
So, and you might inspire the artist. They may very well go ahead and do whatever they got to do with the music. But what you tell them, or what ideas you giving them to behind the beat you gave them, might inspire them to go a different way with it and make another hit or make a hit, period.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think people making hits right now. They're just making stuff that the radio is going to play over and over again. And then people have to like it.
It's programming. I hate to sound like that crazy woke guy, but it is what it is. It's literally programming. Once they play a song, but so much, you start to like it. Like, I hate always bringing up Post Malone, but like anywhere I'm at, I hear his songs and I get why people like it, but I think it's just the repetition of it. People get used to. It's nothing he says is very special at all. Like it to me, it's not even really memorable other than it's repetition. It's not memorable outside the fact of this year. I think a lot of those songs will come and go. You won't come back to those albums.
No, you won't. Because you just move on to the next person. Oh, this guy's a genius, and they'll call him a legend and pack up his concerts, and then he'll fade away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at all the artists they've already just thrown away that they thought was going to have longevity. You know, where the hell is Trinidad James?
Yeah, they fell. What's funny is that song was his damn song, and it's like he signed to somebody. They make money off that song, and I'm like, you could have just kept it yourself. And they didn't even know what to do with you, and like you were dropped by Def Jam in like less than a year. I remember that story.
Jeez.
Yeah,
but that's part of the game you sign up for. I think the best thing anybody could do right now, and I know it's probably not lucrative, but just stay independent.
Yes, that's the best bet. Your best bet is probably have like a publishing, not necessarily a publishing deal. I'm reading more about it to where they'll handle the negotiation for you to get your publishing and stuff, but like they make a very small percentage. But at the end of the day, you still own your publishing. It's not the fact that they get all this, like somebody else on your publishing and you make nothing, to where they'll help negotiate the deal so it ain't like you get fucked. I'm like, that's a good idea for somebody. You make a little bit, you have all these artists, you make money off of it. But at the end of the day, the artist gets the majority of their publishing. And they help negotiate the stuff with movies, soundtracks, video games, ads. Like they put all that stuff out there for you. Like that's a good way. A lot of people are getting into it because artists should own what the fuck they put their voice on.
Yeah. As soon as they feel like you're not worth backing anymore, then you're just gonna be sitting out there looking stupid
with no collateral. With no collateral. Only thing you have to fall back on is the fact. Hopefully, you still got your voice. You got a little show you can do. You can make money off the tour, but at the end of the day, you're still not making money off the fucking songs that you made that stream that pops up in the Apple commercial, and your ass made out a damn dime. But your label from 15 years ago where that song came out just bankrolling that check that went to Apple.
Buddy. And you can't do shit but tell people that's me. That's me.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. But yeah, that's just something I thought about watching that. It was 2.5 hours with Teddy Riley, man. He was dropping jewels, man. He was dropping jewels. His Michael Jackson story. It was pretty long when he was making Dangerous with him. Because I didn't know. Do you remember the song 2300 Jackson Street, that Jackson album?
Yeah.
He produced that song, and that's what made Michael come back to him. He said he never even met Michael during that. He said Michael, they had it there. Michael came to the studio. He wasn't there and cut it, but he cut it with everybody else, but not Michael. And Michael remembered it, and Michael came to him and said, I want you to make my next album. And that's what Dangerous happened.
Yeah.
Like Michael said, Michael went to Switzerland and was opening up a mall. And he was going to go back home himself. He said, Michael said, don't go. He's like, but you're going to be gone for like 2 weeks. What do you want me to do? And he was just like, I want to see my family and friends. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll bring them all here. Flew them all here. He's like, they're going to need cars. Oh, don't worry about it. Everything. That's Michael was on a different level. Yeah, man. It's just like, he knew what he saw in him. He knew what he saw in him. Like, yeah, it was good stuff. I saw one on Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, but it just shows me, I'm like, I don't know if a lot of the producers now are gonna have that kind of I guess they're gonna be celebrated now and get their roses. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. There's not the respect for the background.
Shit, even real quick, hell, look at Noriega and all the shit he got going on now. Like, who would have thought in 2019 Noriega would be relevant? But he said what honestly transitioned his career and took him to the next level when he made those tracks with Pharrell. He was just like, when he sat in the studio and he was just like, Pharrell telling him to do this, do that. And he looked at him, he's like, I don't know what the hell made me listen to this scrawny dude from Virginia who wasn't gangster at all. He's like, somehow I trusted him. He's the best decision I ever made in my life. He's like, it just made sense. It was like, nobody really told me what to do on the track. And it was kind of like, okay. Followed him and look. his career has flourished. I follow him on Instagram. I was like, he living the life in Miami and traveling, doing stuff. Got his podcast, got his little shows online. I'm like, it's funny, man. I'm telling you, the people who really are doing it out here, like they're getting their roses right now because they have longevity. How long you be making them trap beats, my dude? Trap is gonna run out. Everything comes and goes. So
as short of attention span as these young kids they got now, that trap ain't gonna be around for much longer.
Exactly. So that's all I have, man. That's all I got.
All right.
Damn, we talked pretty long for just two of us.
Yeah, just
cut it out.
Anyway, if you want to get in contact with us, please subscribe to the channel, and of course, go to our other modes of listening to the show. We are on SoundCloud, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you want to listen to us or take us anywhere you want to, you can reach us on those things as well. Thank you so much for allowing us to keep you company, you guys. And of course, like I said, subscribe, share, subscribe. And we'll holler at y'all next Monday. Peace.